It is a great joy and honor to come into your homes and your minds with a message of empowerment and enlightenment. This is Emmanuel Mensah, a co-founder of the Eagle Mentality Group. At the Eagle Mentality Group, we teach and propagate information about the power of thought, universal laws and principles, and how these laws and our thinking comes together to form or to create our realities. All human beings, without exception, are creating their own realities, all of us. Those who have lived and gone, and those of us that are still alive, and those who are yet to come. This is the truth about us. Nothing is being imposed on you, but you thought it or you think it into being. And that is why the Bible says, as he thinks, so he is. So today, I'm going to speak to you on the topic. We are still under the umbrella, the quest for uniform and sustainable development in Ghana and Africa in general. And as I've always been saying, whatever I'm saying here, I'm using Ghana as an example, but it is applicable to all African countries. And so today we are going to look at national interest and national unity in our various countries, using Ghana as an example. But before we go on, I want to take this opportunity to appeal to you that if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please click on the subscribe button and subscribe to our channel so that you receive updates anytime we upload our content. You will receive updates from there. And if you have already done that, we just want to say we thank you and we appreciate you for your love and your support. If you also want to be part of this project, you can leave a comment in the comment section, and we will get to you, or we will connect with you to pick it from there, especially if you are in Greater Toronto area and you want to be involved physically. Leave a comment and we will connect with you. And so today we're going to look at this very important topic: national unity and national interest. And as a matter of fact, these are some of the things that they don't even teach us in school, especially young men and women walking around. This is what they don't teach you in school: national unity, especially national interest. What is your perspective about the nation Ghana, Nigeria, Tanzania, Uganda, Sierra Leone? What is your perspective about your country? Do you put your country's interest above all things, or your personal and tribal or any other affiliation interest comes first? That is where the issue is. And any group of people who understand what national interest is, they will also achieve what we call national unity. Because national interest supersedes all other interests, and therefore no one agitates that he or she is being cheated or is being neglected. Yes, you have the right to make a genuine demand for certain things in your area, in your locality, but we will come to that point, you see, and that is why we have the political structures through which we can do this, or we have what we call the freedom of speech, the freedom of association, pressure groups. We can use this arrangements to press our demands to the national government or whoever, or the local authorities, local government, you say. But what we have in Africa is a mixture of the political administration and then traditional rulership. And because we are coming from tribes, we are attached to the tribes, and therefore whoever is our leader, he speaks on behalf of our tribe. And therefore, in our case, it is not necessarily about speaking for development of a particular thing in an area, but it's on behalf of a particular tribe. And therefore, if something is done in one area where there is a different tribe, the other tribes begin to agitate, you see. So there is no that kind of uniformity. And as soon as tribal sentiment comes in, then it degenerates into something different. So as I'm speaking to you right now and you are listening to me, there is a high possibility and probability that many people would choose their tribal interests over Ghana or Nigeria. And as a matter of fact, if you look at what happened in some of our countries that we had civil wars, it all comes as a result of this sentiments. Some people thinking that they are not being treated fairly, and others too taking it upon themselves to maltreat the others, you see. And so when you have this kind of undercurrents operating, there is no way you can achieve national unity. We can do this kind of patch up peace agreement and whatever that we are working towards peace. We can do this kind of speeches and prayers, but as a matter of fact, the direct cause of the lack of, or the direct cause of this particular issue is not being addressed. And that is what we are looking at here. You see, so far as we are now, our tribes are meaningless. It doesn't matter how you value it. We are in a different dispensation. And what we need to focus on is to become one. One people, one Ghanaians, one Nigerians, one Togolese, with different backgrounds, but not visible this line of tribal divisions. It is only when we get to this point then we can say we are achieving national unity, and all of us are working towards the national interest. And the way to achieve this is we already have the political structures. All the things are laid. We have our elected leaders, we have our distance, but what we have to focus now is to strengthen the local administration such that wherever any person is, instead of speaking through the chief, they approach the local authorities with a petition, with any, or they can demonstrate, do all these kind of things, you say, to press on their demands to the government. And when it is done as a group of people in that area, but not because some people think their area or their tribe is being cheated or is being marginalized. So there is the time for it. This is the time for us to begin to look at all this. How can we become one? How can we become one such that we don't have these artificial barriers? You see, human beings, we are on a journey, and whether we like it or not, this is where we are. And the stage in which we are, or the stage of our journey, is that the world does not recognize tribal sentiments or tribal identification. Whatever you are, if you travel outside your country, your nationality is the only thing that people recognize. And so if we don't take this and work purposefully by integrating ourselves with one another and diminishing the tribal interest and affiliation to our traditional rulership, that is creating these undercurrents amongst us. There is no way that we can stand as one and achieve the national interest and to become united or to have national unity. You see, so as it is now in most of our countries, and we've seen it in some of our countries, most of the wars that ever happened in Africa happened on tribal basis, you see. And if you continue to live on tribal basis, then these issues will continue to repeat. But we can look at ourselves now and begin to educate our younger children, our school system, our educational system, must no longer emphasize on tribal divisions or tribal history, but we must emphasize on national unity, such that our children will become awakened to the fact that we are all becoming one. And even now, if you look at our system, intertribal marriages has even brought us closer to one another. When our forefathers were living along the tribal lines, they were not connected to any outside world. Today, wherever you are connected to your fellow Ghanaians, Nigerians, or even across your national boundaries, anywhere. That should tell you that we are in a different dispensation. And the only nations that will thrive are those that have worked to bury their differences. Tribalism is still reigning in our nations, whether we like it or not. Even those of us that have traveled outside Ghana, outside our nations, tribalism is still ruling us. There is no group of Africans, if you take Ghanaians, Ghana Association, that is organized outside tribal lines. Wherever you go in the diaspora, you will only have the Ewes, you have the Ashantis, you have the Ekuyapims, you have the Gans, organize themselves in silos. And therefore, we do not actually have any common mind, common interest that we are pursuing. You see, and it all just becomes as a result of we having tribal interest, because the Ewes want to go and develop Everland. The Gans want to go and develop Ganland. Ashantis want to go and develop the Ashanti land. And therefore, if you are not part of them, or if you become one of them, how does they distribute whatever resources that you generate? This is how it goes, you say. But we don't look at it that this is the need of a country, of a group of people in any part of the country, that we need to go and support them. We have the white people, we have the Europeans coming to support us, do things in all the parts of our countries without any sentiment, but on the grounds that it is needed for them to do it. Therefore, they go and support. But every African that is in diaspora, whatever he or she is doing, if they are a group of people, whatever they are doing is targeted to only their area, because that is their tribe. They want to go and help their people, you see. And so if you sit down and analyze this, if we keep on organizing ourselves this way, we are not going to achieve any kind of unity and development that will spread all over the nation. We must do things on the grounds that it is good and necessary to do, but not on the fact that we have to go and help our people. It is good for us to go and help our people, but this is the time we have to begin to build bridges. At this time, we should have a group of people in let's say Canada, called the Ghanaian community. A Ghanaian community that transcends tribal lines, that we do things as one unit, but it doesn't exist. The only thing that we have is tribal, and we are teaching our children our traditions and whatever and whatever. If you go to the US, the same thing. If you go to anywhere, even some of the tribes have their traditional rulers and other things. You say, if we live in this, we are divided even outside Ghana, and we don't have any power. We don't have any power. And that is what we are also supporting back at home. So this is the time that we have to think of how to harness the strength in our diversity and let the weakness go. When we stand as individuals, the national interest is at stake. But when we stand as one, the national interest is achievable. When we stand as one, there is unity. And so if you go back, let's say if you take it back to Africa, let's say Ghana, as I'm using Ghana, we already have our political structures. And therefore, if we strengthen the local administration, local authority, the political local administration, and devalue the traditional ones, we will see that whoever stands to speak on behalf of any particular area will be an elected person who is not speaking out of the tribal sentiment, but he's speaking on behalf of where he represents, on the fact that there is the need for this or that and that. In that case, there is no tribal sentiment that people would think that the government is discriminating, the government is doing that. You see, but so long as we have tribal leaders, community leaders who are based on tribes that are leading, we are keep on reproducing the same situation. You see, so it is about time. The world has gone. We have gone far, 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 far. And people have moved on. We are not the only people that have tribes. A lot of people were living as tribes, but now they've integrated among themselves. Now they've become one unit. Together, we can harness the strength that all of us, our diversity, that is in our diversity, and use it for the common good for all of us. That is what we have to be awakened to. And so I'm appealing to you, the young one, the youth, that you don't have direction. You don't have anywhere. So anything that anyone suggests to you, you are ready to follow. You say, this is the education I'm giving to you. You are the future of your nation. You are the future of your area. And that future lies in the political administration, not in the rural or traditional rulers. They cannot provide anything for you. They themselves have to appeal to the central government. You say, oh, whatever. But if instead of you, following them and doing all these kind of things, demand that they appreciate and accept the fact that there must be proper governance structures within your area so that you can organize resources, organize yourself, and do some of the things yourself based on the resources that is generated, you see. And so this is the time that we have to wake up. The youth, the younger ones are just walking around and they're being used for anything. And as I've always been saying, if there should be any war, if there should be any conflict in any African country, it is not going to be on political basis, but it's going to be on tribal basis. It's not going to be on religion. Yes, the religion, yeah, is possible because what we have in Nigeria is possible. But in some countries like Ghana, I understand, it's highly unlikely. But the fact is that it is 100% likely that tribal conflicts could happen. As a fact, at this stage of our lives, we are well educated. Almost all our leaders are educated. The traditional rulers are educated. Why should we allow our emotions to drive, as you say? And so this is the time that we have to think of becoming one, so that we will speak on the political platform and represent an area, but not a tribe. An area will be defined by a name, but not by tribe. And that area is already inhabited by a mixture of people. That is when we can have foreigners coming to live amongst us, and they follow the laid down structures. We have migrated to this other parts of the world, and we follow the laid down structures and rules that have been laid are there. Why can't we do that at our home? You say. And so it is time for us to rise up. It is time for us to become one. One is strength. Unity is strength. But together, separation is weakness. And so there is the beauty, there is the strength that we need to harness in our African nature for our diversity. Our tribes, our dialects, our everything are numerous. But this is the time that we have to begin to work towards integration and then harness the beauty and the power that is in this diversity. But as it is now, we are allowing the diversity to work against us negatively, you see. And so national interest is what I'm preaching today. National interest and national unity. The national interest comes first. And therefore, when it comes that a decision is being made about a project or whatever, it is the interest of the nation, where if it is done, it serves the nation well, must come first, but not because this thing is coming from, this area is given more this and that, therefore that thing has to be done over there. But it has to be done in the interest of the nation. Which option, which choice will give the nation a maximum benefit, but not only for some people. You see, so when we have that, then we hold Ghana as our nation that we dear, we hold so dear that we are working towards for the achievement of its goals. You see, and so this is the time that you, the youth, you've got to open your eyes. You are connected to the world now with the internet. Read about positive things that are happening in other worlds, but don't read about the negative things. As a matter of fact, people are always interested in spreading negativity, but they don't spread the positivity. There are millions of good things that are happening in America, Britain, and everywhere, but people will not spread it. But let there be any conflict, let there be any chaos, they will spread it right away. There are a lot of things that are happening in Africa in the same way, good things, but they don't spread it. But even Africans themselves, they will not share it on Facebook. But you will see Africans sharing negativity, bad things on Facebook, that they are spreading news. Now, disabuse your mind and look at the positive side of life. Wherever your attention goes is where your life goes. So let us think of oneness. Let us become one. There is no difference between a Dagomba or a Gonja or Ashanti or Ewe or Oiga. There is no difference between us. We are all one. And therefore, instead of we standing on our traditional rulership, every little thing, it generates this kind of tension amongst us. That people insulting and beating each other, it doesn't mark a sign. It's not a sign of a people who are in this age. We are behind the human evolution. We are behind the human evolution, and this is the time that we have to take steps to move forward. Let us think of becoming one. Wherever you travel to, whatever you will do, you will feel that you are at home. You feel that you are in Ghana and you are amongst your people. You see, that is what we have to do. Wherever you go, when an African travels to any part of Africa, he should feel that he's at home, he's an African. You see, together we stand. This is how it is done everywhere, you see. And so tribal sentiments, whether we like it or not, is a tearing us apart, both at home and abroad. Now the question is, how can we look over this negative side of our existence and then bring ourselves together such that when you meet your fellow African, you meet your fellow Ghanaian, you not ask him about his tribe, but you ask him about his location, where he comes from, where he's living. Whether if you're an Asante and you live in the north, you are not a northerner, you are not whatever, you are in the northern part. You say you are not Asante, you are in the northern part. If you are northern and you live in Asante, you live in Volta region, you are in Volta, but it is not about Ewe or a northerner, a Gonja or a Dagomba. You see, it is only when we do this and we encourage this unity, then we don't even have to pray for any unity. Why should there be any conflict? Why should there even be conflict amongst us that we have to pray for unity? Now we even have National Peace Council in Ghana. What is the council doing? You say, they're not doing anything because the undercurrent, the very thing that is fomenting this kind of possible conflicts during election time is tribalism. Our politics is basically tribalism. The Ashantis vote, the Ashantis and the other accounts, they vote for MPP. The Eves and other people vote for NDC. It's tribalistic. It's tribalistic, whether we like it or not. As far as Ghana's political structure or political history is concerned, no NDC government has ever won in Ashanti region and Eastern region. In the same way, no MPP government has ever won in the Volta region and the other region. You see, this is how we've divided this award. You see, these are all tribal distance. It does not fit well into the national interest. We must look at the people who are standing based on their quality and abilities, but not based on their tribe. But this thing is eating us, you say. And so my appeal to all of you, most of you may be older than me, some of you will be younger than me. We may be of the same age, at the same qualification. I am not better than you, but I'm just thinking from a different angle. And I'm selling this to you that there is more we can gain from one Ghana, one unity Ghana. We can gain from one Nigeria, one Tanzania, without any undercurrent, pulling us apart. That we stand as one and we propel ourselves into prosperity and fame. That is all I'm saying. But we cannot achieve this with us keeping on propagating and promoting tribal sentiments, whether we like it or not. It is going to work against us. And so that is my message for you. There is a lot, I cannot say all, but they say a word to a wise. A word to a wise is enough. And so I have said my mind, and it is my belief that you will see this from the positive perspective and embrace it, and let us all work together to achieve this common goal. One Ghana, one people, all one political administration, from the roots to the higher, or to the national level, from the town to the national level. If you go to any African country, that is why we see only Africans with different backgrounds, but who don't use their backgrounds against each other. That is when we say we are integrating and we are becoming one according to the evolution of the human race. That's all I have for you. And so before I sign out, I just want to remind you, please click on the subscribe button and join us, and let's bring this message of positivity and empowerment, and let us bring our nations to where we're supposed to be, such that we will benefit from our wonderful diversity. Together we stand. Thank you, and God bless you.